Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you how I did this fully sewn down frontal install. So first we're going to start out with this crazy hairline. She knows it's crazy, I know it's crazy, so we could talk about it. But you see the sides are close to her eyebrows, the middle goes up. So this hairline especially is very tricky to work with frontals. So let's get into it. First we start with the braids. I like to do my first braid on the temple in the L shape, and mainly on her hairline because she has shorter pieces in the front. So I feel like this technique is a little bit more secure. Now, if you have a client that has longer edges or longer hair in the front of the hairline, you can do straight back, and that is perfectly fine. So this first braid goes into an L, and I bring it all the way across to the back to the other side, and do the other side the same way in the L, and then I connect the two braids. So all the braids are going to be connected, and we're only going to have one end. Now you don't see me bringing that all the way across the back because this is actually the second braid, and I connected the L from the other side into it. So after we do this, we're going to do the rest of the braids going straight back until we are done. I didn't show the back of the braids, but each braid is connected into the next. So you just only pick up the previous braid and add it to the current one that I'm doing and continue down. And this is called zipper braids. Let's speed it up. We're just doing these all straight back until we are done. And now we add the net. And as you can see, the net is only on part of her hair because we don't want that net to show through the lace. So I started the net a little bit midway, and now we're just going to position the frontal and make sure it is in front of all of the little hairs. Hi Simba. I would normally say to place it about 1 inch in front of the hairline, but because she has all of those little baby hairs in the front, if they do happen to pop out, I'll just incorporate them into the look and use them as natural baby hairs. But you want to make sure all the hairs in the front is covered. So this is actually her second time wearing this frontal, and we already customized it the last time to fit this hairline. So I actually took out the entire middle of the frontal. I cut the frontal to where it basically fits her hairline. So here I'm just making sure that I have the position correct. So you're gonna see me play with it a little bit. The client is holding one side, so that side doesn't budge. And then I'm just gonna stretch it down and kind of pull it to the direction that I'm gonna be sewing to make sure that when I do start pulling the thread, it doesn't slip and show any of the hairs in the front. So once you get that positioning correct, you're gonna start stitching on the first braid going vertically, the same lock stitch method, and you don't want to sew through a big piece of the lace because then the thread is going to show. Oh, by the way, I'm using brown thread. And also you don't want to take too little bit of holes because then it's easier for it to tear. So here I'm just trying to position the camera because nowadays we have to be a content creator, a videographer. Like, I just want to be a hairstylist. So bear with me while I do this. I'm trying to show it as best as I can. And we're going to continue with the lock stitch method and go from one braid to the next. When you finish stitching one braid, you're going to kind of roll the lace to the next braid to where you make sure you're keeping it flat. So you use your hand that's holding it and you're basically feeling and stretching to make sure there are no lumps in the lace, and then you stitch it onto the next braid. Now you don't have to sew it onto every braid. You can do every other braid. So basically it's just pull the lace and sew it onto the braid, pull the lace, sew it onto the braid, and then when you get to the last one, right here you see me feeling for the braid. And I'm just going to pin the hair up out of my way. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I just want to make sure I get my positioning right. Then I'm going to flip the lace up and I'm going to stitch it underneath onto the braid. And the reason that I stitch it underneath is because whenever you're ready to part your hair in all these crazy styles, you barely see the thread. And being that the thread is brown, that helps to conceal it that much more. So if you guys are still here and you're still watching me do this craziness, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on, and show us sister some love. Hit that like button. And yeah, let's get back into the video. We're going to stitch this onto the last braid, and note that I'm not going to the edge of the lace. There's still about a ½ inch of lace left, and that is for a reason. We're going to get back to that a little bit later. Whatever you do to one side, you want to go ahead and do it to the other side as well. So same thing, stretch, sew onto the braid. After the frontal is stitched onto the braid, then you want to go ahead and sew the back. So I'll do the left side first and then go on to the right side. You just basically stretch it and just sew it down. No over directing, just stretch it straight down and sew it into place. So now you see how we have these flaps. I told you we will get back to it. This part is very important. I left a little bit of the lace not sewn down on the bottom of the tab. If you can see like a little bottom tab there. And I'm going to over direct that piece towards the back. So every stitch that I do, I go a little bit further to the back of the head, not too drastic, but a little bit further to the back of the head so it's not straight down and aligned with the rest of the stitching. And then I'll go and I'll take the next piece of lace beside it. And so I'm right over her ear now. And I'll do this going like towards the front of the lace and tacking it towards the back of her head until I feel comfortable to where the lace is laying flat enough for me. Now I just want you guys to watch as I do this, how the lace in the front disappears. So just pay close attention. As I pull it and tighten it, the lace just disappears into her skin. I've been doing this technique for years and I haven't noticed any breakage or damage on the client's perimeter. See? Look at that. You don't see any lace on the left-hand side. So now we're going to move on to the right side. So now we move on to the other side. I'm going to pin that hair up out of my way. And now we're going to attack those flaps. So now just watch as this lace in the front disappears. So like I said before, this is her second time using this lace. So it's been a little stretched out and you're going to see after I stitch it, it's going to disappear. But then part of it isn't. You're going to see how we handle that soon too. I know this technique is a little complex, but your clients will love you for it. It lasts a long time. It helps and protects their hair. So if you want a more detailed version of it, let me know and I'll do it on a mannequin. Look how focused I am. But I'm also half blind, so I'm all up in the client's head, breathing on her head. But this lace is about to be laid, so you gotta do what you gotta do. If you guys are still here and you're enjoying this video and you're getting value from it, which I hope you are, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not already done so. I will greatly appreciate it. I'm building my channel, so I appreciate every little like, every little subscribe, every little notification. We having fun on this side. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're going to have some salon convos. You know, we're going to mix it up, keep you guys entertained, and watch the lace. So I told you we're going to get this lace to lay, but then I said that there's going to be one little piece that gives us trouble. Because this lace was worn before and it is HD, you know how HD has like the little scraggly pieces on it, which we love because it makes it softer. And the solution is to just cut that right off because nobody don't have time. I don't have the proper scissors, but you get my drift. Smaller and or sharper scissors is best for this because you don't want to just cut it in a straight line. You want to make sure you do it in a zigzag so you don't see a harsh line going across your forehead or your client's forehead. And put some mousse on the edges, wrap it with a wrap strip, and voila. This is the final product. We don't really do the baby hair situation, and we don't need it because the lace is flat, the lace is seamless. She is looking as cute as ever, and it's a lit situation right now. All of her hair is protected, no glue, her edges will still be intact. And that's how we like it because we need our edges out here. Mind your business about my outfit. I want to be comfortable, but if you know where I got that hoodie from, drop it in the comments and you get some brownie points. Let me know how you feel about this technique and if you want me to do a more detailed video on it. This is the grand finale and I love it. Yes, dying for her reaction right now.
Yeah.